You finally build up the courage to confront them. You sit down, keep your voice calm, and try to explain how their actions hurt you. Within 3 minutes, the narrative flips. Suddenly, they are crying. Your attempt to discuss your own pain is treated as proof of your insensitivity. By the end of the conversation, you are the one apologizing. You walk away dizzy, confused, and drained. Healthy venting has an expiration date. Eventually, the tears stop, and the focus shifts to moving forward. A professional victim uses those same tears to build a permanent identity out of their suffering. This interaction was a successful execution of a specific psychological trap. Driven by an external locus of control, life is a ship. An internal locus stands as captain, but a professional victim operates as a helpless passenger tied to the mast. To them, an iceberg deliberately jumped out of nowhere just to ruin their journey. Beneath this worldview sits a fragile ego. Admitting a mistake requires a level of vulnerability that this person finds unbearable. To avoid the pain of accountability, they deploy a heavy-duty defense mechanism, denial of fault. Their mind filters the world and rewrites history until it finds a villain to blame. If you happen to be standing closest to them, you are it. They maintain this dynamic through specific games, like yes, but. You offer a logical solution to their problem. They reply, yes, but HR is friends with my boss. You suggest a new resume. Yes, but the market is terrible. They reject every fix to keep the focus on their misery. Then there is the archive of wrongs. They possess an encyclopedic memory of exactly who offended them decades ago. These mental files are carefully preserved and weaponized during minor arguments to prove the universe is permanently rigged against them. Over time, this behavior mutates into a martyr complex. They believe their chronic suffering makes them deeper and more profound than the people around them. They wear their pain like a heavy golden crown. These tactics ensure they have a captive audience. By rejecting solutions and holding on to old grudges, they secure your attention while avoiding the risk of personal action. This behavior provides secondary gain, the hidden reward a person receives from staying in a negative situation. Playing the victim is an effective way to extract attention, sympathy, and care from others without requiring any actual growth. Perpetual fragility also acts as a shield. If a person is always broken, nobody can expect them to perform or improve. It protects them from the burden of living up to their potential. In many cases, this stems from learned helplessness. Their initial trauma, perhaps an abusive childhood or a toxic relationship, was real and inescapable. Their brain learned that no matter what they did, the pain would come anyway. That initial pain eventually hardened into a permanent coat of armor. Understanding that tragic past is necessary, but it does not mean you have to become the collateral damage of their present choices. Recently, this behavior has evolved. While a grandiose narcissist demands the spotlight by being the best, a covert narcissist demands it by being the most shattered person in the room. They use their brokenness to hold you hostage. As therapy language has entered the mainstream, professional victims have weaponized it to defend against accountability. A normal disagreement is suddenly framed using clinical accusations. If you express frustration, they say you are gaslighting. If you try to set a boundary, like telling them you need to go to sleep, they accuse you of abandoning them during a crisis. They use their weakness to strip away your right to say no. This weaponized language creates a psychological checkmate. It transforms every conflict into a scenario where they are the fragile patient and you are the abuser. We have to look at the other half of this dynamic. A professional victim requires a willing, patient host. They rely on people who are wired to fix and soothe. If you are highly empathetic, you might be operating from a savior complex, believing that if you just sacrifice enough of your own peace, you can cure their pain. Dropping your boundaries to rescue them provides toxic enabling. It feeds the psychological pattern that is currently exhausting your life and preventing theirs from changing. By constantly fixing their self-inflicted problems, you become an accomplice in their stagnation. To protect your peace, you can use the gray rock method. When they start a dramatic, blame-shifting monologue, you become as boring and unresponsive as a plain gray rock. Give neutral, flat responses. Don't offer solutions or defend yourself against accusations. When you stop feeding the drama they crave, they will eventually seek their supply elsewhere. You can also deploy a specific verbal boundary. Next time they dump their chaos onto you, look them in the eye and say, "I'm so sorry you're going through this. What are your exact steps to solve it?" This phrase returns the locus of control directly to them. It shows you are listening, but it refuses to carry the luggage they are trying to hand you. Empathy without strict boundaries is emotional self-sabotage. Stepping back and letting them manage their own lives is the only way for you to reclaim yours.